Hello, welcome to Mindful Cooking by Xavier, where I explore mental health issues coupled with my passion for cooking. Today's visuals feel a little bit like ASMR when I was editing this video, mainly because of the sound while grilling the rump steak and frying the shimeji mushrooms. Eating a steak outside nowadays can be an expensive affair, unless you're eating it from the Western stall at a hawker center. Then again, hawker center steak is priced a lot higher than other types of good food that can be found within the same location. So for me, if I want to indulge a little, I would rather grill a steak myself to cut costs. Now, I have shared that I am diagnosed with dysthymia, also known as persistent depressive disorder, or PDD in short. A recap of the symptoms that I experience: low mood, difficulty focusing, feelings of hopelessness, lack of interest in activities that I once enjoyed, fatigue, low energy levels. I especially struggle with a lack of focus and low mood, which then causes me to have low energy levels and feel tired most of the time. During the period when I was not under treatment, I did some research to try to explain to myself why I am feeling this way. I was trying to convince myself that I am not depressed, and more importantly, not mentally ill. Most of all, I did not want to see myself as weak in character. The more I researched, I zeroed in on adult attention deficit hyperattentive disorder, adult ADHD in short. It can be said that people with ADHD are born with it, and since there is such a wide spectrum on ADHD, people with ADHD can lead normal lives and look normal. I had a strong feeling that I am perhaps a high-functioning ADHD person all this while, because I struggle with difficulty focusing even before I experienced the other depression symptoms. People with ADHD sometimes experience low moods and fatigue too, not too different from people with depression. I decided to get a diagnosis because I wanted to find closure on the question of whether I am mentally sick with depression or I had ADHD all along. I consulted a clinical psychologist, a close contact of mine. He went through a questionnaire, starting from my early years as a child right up to the present moment. Due to confidentiality issues, I cannot reveal how the session progressed. But after he finished asking me what he needed to know, he told me that he can confidently say that I do not have ADHD. As he is not a psychiatrist, he cannot diagnose me, but his guess was that I have persistent depressive disorder. I will have to visit a psychiatrist for a formal diagnosis. I was not totally convinced that I do not have ADHD. This was partly because I didn't want to be labeled mentally ill. Hence, I sought a second opinion with another psychologist as well as a psychiatrist, this time a recommendation by a relative of mine who promised to keep my mental health state confidential. This psychologist went through a similar questionnaire and methodology, and her prognosis was that I do not have ADHD, but she cannot rule it out. I finally visited the psychiatrist, and yes, I had my final answer. I have PDD and not ADHD. I finally found my closure that I was seeking, and the silver lining is I can be cured of my depression. I shall review the treatment for my depression in the next video. Meanwhile, I hope you enjoyed the simple visuals in cooking a steak meal. The cooking instructions are listed in the description below this video. Taking time for yourself and indulging once in a while is essential in the healing process for my clinical depression. God bless.